Behind every great man
is a great, confident, exceptional woman.
Hello and welcome to Behind Every Great Man. I am your host, Jessica. Today our episode is Behind the Man, Subservient, or the Feminine Seat of Power. Behind every great man is a great woman who inspires him to rise by staying grounded in her essence. Behind the man. How does that phrase hit you? For some, it sounds old-fashioned, outdated, subservient. People hear behind and immediately think it means less than. Let's be clear. Behind the man doesn't mean being beneath the man. It doesn't mean shrinking yourself down, silencing your voice, submitting to something that feels wrong to your soul. I don't believe a woman should do anything like that. What I do believe in is polarity, the natural push and pull of masculine and feminine energy. When a woman is fully in her feminine, her God-given true essence, loving, nurturing, supportive, present, magnetic, and a man is fully in his masculine, leading, protecting, providing, holding the container, that's where life works best. That's where love feels alive. This is where passion flows fiercely. I got married in my late 30s. I led my own life up to that point. I had my own career. I bought a home. I was a landlord at one point. I published a woman's self-help book. I paid my own bills, made my own decisions. I know how to lead. I have incredible leadership qualities. But when I chose my husband, I knew I wanted an alpha, a true masculine leader. Love our beta boys. We all adore them. God bless them. But that's not the partner I wanted, I needed, or desired. I wanted someone who would lead us, lead our family, lead our life together. And that's who my husband is. In our marriage, he leads. Do I take the lead sometimes? Of course I do. Keith and I flow between these roles all the time. That's the beauty of it. It's not rigid. I can lead when I need to, but as a whole, he takes that position. When the pressure's on and life gets real, when things are falling apart, who do you want taking the lead? The masculine, the one who is wired to plan, to protect and fight, or the feminine who is the natural supporter? I'll tell you right now, I want the masculine out front. We have a picture framed that we have on our bedroom nightstand that's of a lioness with a lion standing behind her with the quote, "It doesn't matter what's in front of her because of what is standing behind her." Even that quote says behind. Behind doesn't mean less. It means covered, supported, protected. She knows she's safe. She knows she's protected. When you stand behind your children, for example, as they go off into the world to run and explore, is that a position of weakness? No, you stand behind them strong. It's a position of power, love, and support. Why then, when the woman is standing behind her man, it's now all of a sudden this subservient or weak position? When your man is down in the trenches, fighting on the front lines of life, he's pushing, grinding, strategizing, you are right behind him. You see things he may not see because his head is down doing the hard work. You're holding the vision when he's too deep in the battle to lift his head. You are the safe place, the recharge, the reminder of why he's fighting in the first place. Here's where people get it wrong. Being in your feminine is not weakness. It's wisdom. Being in the feminine means you're tapped into your intuition, your calm, your playfulness, your softness, yet still being strong. This isn't about whether you can lead. Of course you can. There is no one more capable than a woman, than a mother. You want something done, multitasked, hand it to a woman. It'll be finished before lunch with snacks packed and a carpool schedule. But we were never meant to live in a constant overdrive. There's power in taking a breath, softening your grip, and stepping back just enough to let your man step forward. Now here's the other side of this. Your man has to be strong enough to step into that position. If you're with a man who refuses to lead, who won't take responsibility, who leaves everything to you, that's not polarity. That's burnout waiting to happen for you, sister, if you haven't already. If you chose a beta, and let's be real, some of you did, then sister, you're going to have to take the lead there. It doesn't mean he's a bad guy. It just means you're going to have to carry more weight, and encouragement is key. And sometimes, this is a big one right here, the problem isn't that he won't lead, it's that you won't let him. Maybe you know you're with a good man who is a leader, but you struggle to trust his leadership, to trust him to make the right decisions. I get it. It's not easy to hand over the reins. Maybe you've lived your whole life being in control and you know nothing else. Maybe your parents didn't step it up for you and your siblings and you needed to in order to survive. Or maybe you did trust someone, handed over control, and they betrayed you. If you relate to any of these, sister, my heart feels this deeply for you. You are a woman who has carried a lot, and you've done it well. I feel called to just stop a moment and acknowledge this beautiful woman. If this is you, and no one has told you this lately, I am proud of you. Proud of the weight you've carried. Proud of the way you've shown up. Proud of the woman you've become through all of it. And even if trust feels hard right now, I want you to know you are worthy of safety. You are worthy of rest. You are worthy of being supported. Here's the truth. You can't inspire a man to lead if you won't let him. If you're constantly questioning, controlling, micromanaging, or waiting to pounce at the slightest misstep, you're no longer in partnership. You're in competition, and no healthy masculine man wants to compete with his wife. When he takes the lead, it may not look exactly how you do it, and that's okay. Partnership means allowing his strength, his style, his approach to take the lead sometimes. Keith will always say to me, I made this decision, but you know you have veto ability. And that's key because I know I hold that power. I don't abuse it, but I know I have that in my pocket. I know I can hold a leadership council meeting in our situation room, i.e. our living room, and we'll discuss the best course of action. He leads, but he respects your input. That's not a dictatorship. That's a partnership. Let's take a moment for our weekly pause together to reflect on this topic. I invite you to ask yourself these questions. I'll write them down below so you can marinate on them a bit more. But really think about each one of these and answer them to yourself. Am I allowing my man to lead? Do I trust him to make good decisions, even if they're different from mine? Where am I accidentally competing with him instead of collaborating? How do I feel when he takes charge? Safe? Anxious? Relieved? Resistant? Do I encourage him when he steps up? Or do I critique him for not doing it my way? Where might my need for control be coming from? Past hurt? Fear? Habit? What's one thing I deeply appreciate about his masculine presence in my life? How could trusting him more actually create more intimacy and passion between us? Are you allowing him to live in his true masculine essence? And is he allowing you to live fully in yours? Being behind the man isn't about being less. It's about being powerful enough to know that you don't have to do everything yourself. When a strong man and a strong woman choose their positions consciously, not because society said so, but because you know your God-given strengths, that's when marriage feels aligned. That's when love feels like partnership. That's where true polarity lives, and it's sexy. So no, you're not submissive. You're not weak. You're the woman behind the man by choice. And that position, that's where your strength lives, where fierce desire grows, and where you stand tall in your true feminine position of power. Behind every great man is a great woman who inspires him to rise by staying grounded in her essence. Thanks for taking the time to join me in listening to this podcast episode. You can find more episodes of Behind Every Great Man on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if this spoke to you, please subscribe and share it with your girlfriends. Thanks again, and please join me on the next episode.